You say like you can't just get a product off Alibaba, slap our logo on it, and expect people to buy it. Like if you build it, they won't come. It's like it's the
Mhm.
opposite of what happened in Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner, right? But on social media, if you build it, they will come. Like you can post something with like no followers, and it can be like the worst production quality in the world, just filmed on your phone. But provided that the stuff you're actually saying, the substance of the content is actually good, the algorithm will say, the algorithm's super smart. It will just say, okay, this is content about baking, or this is content about bonsai trees, whatever, right? I'm going to show it to some people who I know like bonsai trees. And if those people like it, the algorithm knows because they watched to the end or they watched 3/4 of the way through. And the algorithm says, I'm going to show it to some more people and some more people and some more people. And before you know it, people are engaging with your content.
Welcome to Synapse Sessions, where we talk with experts who are changing the game in e-commerce. Today, I'm joined by Ben Leonard of Peregrine E-commerce, who built, scaled, and sold a multi-million-dollar brand called Beast Gear, then watched the new owners destroy it and had to buy it back. Ben reveals why relying solely on Amazon is killing brands, how aggregators fail by treating real businesses like financial engineering projects, and why building off Amazon audiences is what separates successful brands from commodity sellers. He breaks down his exact strategy for using social media and creator partnerships to build flywheels that rank your Amazon products, behind the scenes stories from his brand rescue mission turnaround, and explains why acting like a real consumer brand, not just an Amazon seller, is the key to long-term success. If you're tired of being stuck in the Amazon Goldfish bowl and want to build a brand that can survive platform changes, this conversation shows you exactly how to create independence while still crushing it on Amazon. Let's jump into the session. So yeah, Ben, you did something most entrepreneurs out there probably consider crazy. You bought back a brand that you already sold. So tell us about Beast Gear and what happened after you exited.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Um, I never thought I would buy the brand back. So I'll give like a little bit of background. So, um, I started the brand as a hobby, really, back in 2016. I actually had the idea for the brand back in 2012. I'd been training at CrossFit with some friends, and just kind of decided the brand name came to my head before even the idea of doing it. It was just this idea of like beast gear. Somebody at training had said, "Oh, we beasted it," and I was like, "Oh, beasted it. Beast gear would be a badass name for a training brand of training gear." And
Mhm.
I kind of like thought about it for 5 minutes and then forgot all about it because in my head that was for other people. Like I wasn't an entrepreneur. I you know, I went to university. I studied ecology. I ended up working in the oil industry as like the token tree hugger who helped oil companies get greener and comply with the regulations. Um, but 4 years later, I got really unwell with a heart problem. I had to stop work for a while. I needed something to do. And I remembered this old idea, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna give that a try." And originally, my idea was to sell the products direct to gyms. I hadn't even thought about e-commerce because I had no idea what I
Mhm.
was doing. And so yeah, started the brand. Um, Quickly found out selling to gyms was not gonna happen. Realized I could sell online. Um, Discovered that not only could I sell on a website, but I could sell on Amazon, which I didn't know was a thing. I thought that when you sold on Amazon, or when you bought product on Amazon, you were buying it from Amazon. And then when I sold it in 2019, it was it was the first European brand to be sold in kind of the wave of the aggregator wave that came. So I sold to Thrasio, which is public domain. I could say that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like 6 years later, I bought the thing back, which I never thought would happen, and now I'm trying to turn it around and document the whole process.
Okay, nice. So, I mean, yeah, I read that, they trashed the brand. So, like, what exactly did they do, or how did you actually, what did you actually see?
Sure. Well, when I sold the business, it was generating about £4.5 million or $6 million per year in revenue, and it was healthily profitable. When we got it back, I think the trailing 12 months was something like 500,000. So a huge drop, not profitable, or barely profitable, and with an absolute ton, like a ridiculous amount of excess inventory, like $800,000 worth or something, that we had to immediately liquidate a whole ton of that. The business just didn't work. Like tons of products out of stock, tons of variations out of stock, which is even worse. It's like it's almost worse. I'd almost rather have, let's say you've got like we sell like weightlifting products, right? So let's say you've got a range of weightlifting knee sleeves that come in sizes from like say small to 2XL. I'd almost rather have all of them out of stock than like several variations out of stock because like somebody buys a
Hmm.
medium and they're like, "Hey, can I change this for a large?" It's like, "Well, actually, no, we don't have any large." Sorry. You know?
It's annoying.
It's annoying, right? So that, that's the situation we inherited. And then you've got Amazon listings that were just cringe-worthily embarrassing. And I
Hmm.
go into this, so I'm documenting the whole thing in something called Brand Rescue Mission. First episode dropped last week. Second episode will drop tomorrow. In episode three, I really start to dig into what they actually did. And so I'm gonna show some stuff that's so bad if you don't laugh. If you don't cry, you'll laugh, right? You've got to laugh or you'll cry, right? It's that bad. Um, I remember uh I would open my laptop every day after I'd sold the business, but I'm still trying to kind of help them. And I would just be, I would just sigh, right, at what I would see. So let me give you an example. We would sell products for people who are into conditioning, so things like CrossFit, strength training, so
Hmm.
like powerlifting, and combat sports like boxing. And these were kind of three distinct sub niches. Some people might be part of all three, but they were generally distinct. And I remember one day looking at a listing, and you had a model who was wearing a boxing hand wrap. So this is like a bandage you put around your hand before you put your gloves on, whilst doing bicep curls with a dumbbell, whilst standing on a mat which I had developed. It was a mat for using if you wanted to skip outside on concrete, right? So it would protect both your joints. It would also protect your skipping rope or your jump rope.
They're trying to cross promote or something.
The whole thing just made zero sense, right? That's just one example, right? Of many, many examples. I would open, they'd post new images on Amazon, and it would be like, our logo would be wrong. Or they would have models using competitors' products
Hmm.
because the whole thing was just a mess and nobody knew what was going on, right? And then you had situations which were the reason the business was so successful as I had it, right, is because we didn't act like an Amazon business. We acted like a real brand, right? That's how we crushed all the competition. The competition was just selling crap on Amazon. We were building
Yeah.
relationships with customers. We had our own website. We were posting on social media. We were creating content that people enjoyed. We were engaging with our customers, and we were very clever. So, for example, customer would buy our product on Amazon just because we were well ranked on Amazon, and they thought this looks good. They'd get the product, and indeed it was good. Within the product, we would encourage them to go to our social media channels. They would go to our social media channels and they would post about us. We would then engage with them privately in the DMs. Even at scale, even when we're doing like 6 million bucks a year, we would do this. They would be blown away. They would go to our website. They'd probably buy from us on our website. We'd, in the DMs, ask them where they bought from us, and they'd say Amazon. We say, hey, please go leave us a review. All of this just stopped when I sold the
Hmm.
business. And then they wondered why reviews tanked. Every single product had QR codes and URLs on it that would drive the customer to useful resources, like a user guide or a demo video or a chatbot, which contained useful information. And they killed all that. But they didn't change that on the packaging. So you had all these customers just landing on error 404 pages. Absolutely insane. We had one really important funnel that was if you bought our boxing hand wraps, I wanted the customers to learn how to wrap their hands for boxing properly. So on the packaging, we drove them to a demo video. That demo video has amassed something like 9 million views on YouTube.
Hmm.
And what happened was we would drive our customers to that video. That would rank the video, which would bring in new leads who would then go find our product on Amazon and help to keep us ranked. So we had like these positive flywheels going, right? Well, they killed all the links. So they turned that off. And every day I would try to tell them, hey, listen, I'll teach you everything I do and did that made this business a success in the first place. And then you can cross-pollinate that across the 200 other brands you own. And they didn't want to know. And now there's a fire sale, the business is bankrupt, some people are possibly going to go to jail, and all that could have been avoided if they just listened to the founders who businesses they bought in the first place. It seems hilarious to me that you would buy a business, then stop doing all the stuff that made it successful in the first place, and then wonder why it doesn't work anymore.
What do you think was their, I don't know, idea or strategy, or
It
if they
was it
had a
was
strategy?
it was arrogance. So
Uh,
here's what it was. A bunch of financial guys believed that they could take businesses, e-commerce businesses. They believed that they were a game. They weren't real grown-up businesses. And it was financial engineering disguised as brand building. So it was, hey, let's buy all these businesses at 3x multiples and we'll benefit from economies of scale, efficiencies of supply chain, we'll get lower COGS, all that good stuff. And we believe that we're better at actually performing on platforms like Amazon than these sellers were. And we'll sell the whole thing on at a vastly inflated multiple or even go public, which at one point Thrasio wanted to do that. And that just didn't work because they didn't understand that there was a heart and a soul in these brands that made them work. And they couldn't hire the talent because the talent didn't want a job. The talent wanted to build their own business.
yeah.
And so it was a combination of naivety, arrogance, believing that what works on paper works in real life. Now you can aggregate brands and build a portfolio of brands, but the whole thing has to make cohesive sense, and you still have each brand still has to operate like a legit brand and have talent there, rather than what they tried to do, which was just throw all these businesses together into one big pile of chaos and believe that they could all run off of the same playbook and that it it was a game. They didn't believe they were real businesses.
So did they mainly just try to rely on Amazon and focus on
Oh,
Amazon?
completely. They literally
Okay.
deleted our D2C website.
Yeah.
So our Shopify site um, was not responsible for the majority of our sales. It was actually a significant minority of our sales, but it was critical to our brand identity. And it was a place where we hosted tons and tons and tons of really useful content. It was our domain name for our emails, so our support emails, which were printed on all of our packaging. That was very important. It's the URLs through which we put all the useful resources that the Amazon customers came. And it just gave our brand legitimacy. People would go on Amazon, see our brand, check out the website, and probably still buy on Amazon. As soon as you turn off that website, these people are just going to say, well, that doesn't look legit. I'm going to go buy the competitor instead.
Yeah, I definitely recommend people checking out your rescue mission to learn more about this, diving deeper about the details of this. It's
Sure.
super
Um,
important to understand that. I mean, and then I also want to just like kind of little transition for a minute and like to the I guess the bigger picture that can apply to a lot of people watching this maybe is like maybe not to be totally in Amazon independent
oh, yeah.
if they really want to grow their brand. So can you tell us more about that and like
Yeah,
strategy
sure.
you recommend?
So for a bit of context here, right? The reason that we were never a quote unquote Amazon business is because I didn't know that you could sell on Amazon. I never started an Amazon business. I started a brand.
Yeah.
During development of the first product, I found out you could sell on Amazon. And that's how I beat all the competition because most of the competition in my niche were just people trying to sell rubbish on Amazon for a quick buck because they'd done a course or something. And all the legit brands in my niche, in my industry, were not yet on Amazon, right? They believed that they didn't want to be on Amazon, it would dilute their brand identity, etc. So I was like, well, I'm going to go for a hybrid approach. I'm going to outcompete everyone on Amazon by being a real brand. And that's going to build me. I used Amazon as top of funnel to then build my brand identity out with Amazon to help give us this edge of legitimacy. And so that's still what I do. Like I teach others to do that. I still own other brands. I've got a growth marketing agency. And what we do is we help people grow on Amazon by crushing it off Amazon, right? And to look, feel, and behave like a legit consumer product brand. And that's what we do. It's ask yourself, what are your favorite brands doing? How do they look and feel and behave? Are they producing content? Do they have a YouTube channel? Do they sponsor podcasts? Maybe they have their own podcasts. Are they putting stuff out on Instagram and TikTok? Do they um, do collabs with adjacent brands? All this stuff that your own favorite brands do. Give yourself permission to start doing that, even if you just started with your own first product. And that's what I teach. That's what I do. And that's kind of what we're now plugging back into Beastgear with the rescue mission. And people want to check it out. I'm not, it's totally free. I'm not selling anything. It's just a brand rescuemission.com. Um, putting it up there, putting it on YouTube. Um, yeah, I felt like when the opportunity came to get the business back, it would be cool to do something completely transparent. Um, Radical transparency, because there's a lot of people in our industry who they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk.
Mhm.
And they just kind of parrot stuff that they've heard, but they don't actually have their own businesses or their own brands, and so nobody knows who to trust.
Right. So what do you recommend for people trying to build up? Maybe they're already on Amazon and maybe they kind of started on, it's not necessarily on the wrong foot. It's a great place to start. There's a big audience, but if they do want to start, yeah, gaining that independence off of Amazon,
Yep.
um, and social media, like where should they start, for example?
Well, first of all, Amazon is definitely a great place to be. Like, I would recommend that you definitely stay on Amazon. Like, everybody's
Yeah.
shopping there. So it really helps if you're in a niche or selling a product or you have a brand which people get interested and passionate about. If you're selling generic commodity products that no one cares about, this is harder to do. Um, but if you are in any kind of niche that anyone really cares about, then this is much easier to do. So
Mhm.
for instance, right, let me give you an example. Got a client, she sells baking products. Now, what's great about the baking niche is that people who are really into baking are really into baking, right? But I would say she was stuck in the Amazon Goldfish bowl, right? She had products on Amazon and that was it, right? Nothing else. But I went and searched her brand name on Instagram. I found people were already posting it
Mhm.
because people just like to share their lives on social media. So I bet a lot of people watching this or listening to this have absolutely no presence outside of Amazon. But if they went and searched their brand on Instagram, they wouldn't be surprised if they found some posts. And even if they don't, but they find posts that are like of competitors of theirs or just related to them, that gives you validation that people care about this kind of stuff and they want to share it. So what I would encourage you to do is start an Instagram account, start posting. And what that doesn't mean is, and a TikTok account. That doesn't mean just like post pictures of your product and videos of your product. It means post helpful, engaging, useful, free content that positions you as an authority in your niche. It makes people know you, like you, and trust you so that they'll start consuming enough of your content and then buy from you. And I would really encourage you to give people a reason when they buy your product on your packaging and your inserts to go check you out in social and to go post on social. The thing is that like we have this saying in marketing that it's become a cliche, right? You say like you can't just get a product off Alibaba, slap a logo on it, and expect people to buy it. Like if you build it, they won't come. It's like it's the
Mhm.
opposite of what happened in Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner, right? But on social media, if you build it, they will come. Like you can post something with like no followers, and it can be like the worst production quality in the world, just filmed on your phone. But provided that the stuff you're actually saying, the substance of the content is actually good, the algorithm will say, oh, the algorithm's super smart. It will just say, okay, this is content about baking, or this is content about bonsai trees, whatever, right? I'm going to show it to some people who I know like bonsai trees. And if those people like it, the algorithm knows because they watched to the end or they watched three-quarters of the way through. And the algorithm says, I'm going to show it to some more people, and some more people, and some more people. And before you know it, people are engaging with your content. And what happens
Mhm.
if you have an email list and you drive your email list to your content? You say, hey, everyone, we have this really cool video on YouTube or this really great reel on Instagram, which is going to teach you how to not let your bonsai tree die. And then they go watch it. And the algorithm's like, holy crap, like all this external people are coming in and they like bonsai trees and they like it. We're going to show it to more people. And so you bring in more leads. And that's what happened with me with my boxing hand wrap video. I drove my customers to the video, just teach them. The algorithm was like, huh, I'm going to show it to more people who like boxing. And so people who like boxing but were not my customers then consume my content. We're like, oh, I'm going to go buy the product on Amazon. And that's how we had two flywheels ranking each other. Customers ranking
Mhm.
YouTube, bringing in new leads to rank our product on Amazon. And our competitors didn't have a clue because they were stuck in the Amazon Goldfish bowl.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So
awesome. I mean,
it
I
all
think,
just spirals from there, right? And then it's like,
yeah.
what if, I had a weightlifting straps product and on the insert, I just said, um, it was like scan here or follow this URL for the best um, deadlift article you've ever read, right? And so they'd follow it and they landed in a many chat flow where it was like, hey, guess you got your lifting straps. Here's the article. Now, the reason we put them to a many chat flow first was so we could then market to them more in the chat bot. You can't do that as much these days. That's beside the point. Land in many chat, great. Driving to the article, a couple things happen. One, I've given them the article I promised them, and they're enjoying the content. But now they're on my website where they're pixeled, so now I can run meta ads to them to get them to go buy from my website. But within the article, I've got lead magnets, right? So that might just be as simple as, hey, take 15% off, give me your email address.
Hmm.
Customers from Amazon are on my website, and I'm giving them discount codes to go buy on my website. I'm getting their email address, so then I can provide them with more content, probably to drive them back to my social, to rank my social, to bring in new leads, to go buy from me on Amazon or my website. Everything touches each other.
Nice.
It comes back to what I said before. This is how real brands behave. But a lot of people just can't get their head around it. They're like, oh yeah, I put a product on Amazon, I turn on PPC and I pray.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
Right. Yeah. What do you do after they get the product? There's opportunity there, and it's like you're saying, it's not really that hard to even create content, and because people they just want to know who's behind it. It doesn't have to be. It's actually probably more authentic. It's gonna be better.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
if it is, it's
Like, I
something
mean,
really
honestly,
personal.
like, so I'm an average Joe who likes to like keep fit, right? Um, but I made myself the face of the brand because people connect with people. And so I was saying like, I'm just like an average guy who likes training, but I bet you're an average guy who likes training. So like, come buy my stuff. It worked. It was crazy. Like I set up this automation where if you bought on my Shopify site, you put your phone number in the checkout. We
Hmm.
set up an automation. This was back in like 2017 that we set this up, right? And so there are tools that will do this now automatically, but I'm pretty sure I invented it. So what happened was we set up an automation to pull out the phone number and put that onto a new row in a Google Sheet. And then we had a formula in the Google Sheet that appended that phone number to a web.whatsapp link. So you click it and that would open a new chat on WhatsApp on the browser on desktop.
Hmm.
I had a team member sitting in the Philippines who twice a day would open this spreadsheet, take all the new orders, click the links, start a conversation with the customer, drop in a video that I had recorded where I was saying, hey, thanks so much for your order. It looked like I'd recorded it just for that person, but I never mentioned their name. And the customers are like blown away, like, holy shit. I just like bought this like an hour ago and the founders just dropped me a WhatsApp video and like blown away. That's how you
Yeah.
build brand. That's how you build customer retention. That's how you build like a tribe of people who love your brand. Meanwhile, my competitors were just like, oh, I can't get my PPC to work.
Yeah. Yeah. I highly
And that's why the aggregators failed because
yeah.
they couldn't be nimble like that. So that is nimble, borderline guerrilla marketing where you're behaving like a speedboat. You can
Hmm.
change direction anytime. I'm like, hey, let's try this WhatsApp automation. Cool, I'll do it. But these big companies, they're like bureaucratic cruise liners. They have the same itinerary all the time. It takes half a day to turn around. Everything's rigid. You got to go through like all these layers of management to do anything. And then when somebody finally decides to do it, like it's probably irrelevant now anyway.
Hmm. That and it seems odd. I mean, because yeah, they're they have the money to be able to do the right thing, to invest in whatever's needed. That's what's weird. It's just yeah, they have a bunch of hoops they got to jump through to get anything done. Um, but that said, like for example, you could also just pay people to make content for you as well. So I mean, is that a strategy as well to
Yeah,
hire people
so
to?
yes and no. So for example, so with our growth marketing agency, Peregrine E-commerce, what we do is we test everything on our own brands and then apply it to our clients. And we do a lot of influencer slash creator marketing. It's actually something that's really crushing for us right now. Um, but we've never paid a creator for a post ever.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean we won't ever do it. Well, actually, that's a lie. We've paid some creators for posts with my brand, but never for clients because we just haven't needed to. Um, because it's not about finding somebody with 100,000 followers or 500,000 followers and paying them money to post. It's about
Mhm.
finding people who create excellent edutainment. Edutainment, that's the word. edutaining content
Yeah.
that's engaging, that's legit, that people trust. And they might have 5,000 followers, but their reels are consistently and TikToks are consistently getting a good amount of views and engagement for people who trust them. And so we're seeding products out to all these creators, which is a ton of work because you gotta find hundreds of these people per month, get the product to them, give them a content brief, make sure that they follow the brief, that they post the content. You take the content, you repost it as well. You'll probably take a whole bunch of other content and re-edit together into new content. And what I love about that is it's a very straightforward process. It's just a lot of work, right? It's easy. There's just a lot of it, right? It's like mowing a giant lawn. It's easy. You just have to mow the lawn, but the lawn's enormous. And so the competitors of our clients, they can't be bothered to do this. First of all, they don't even think to do it. And even if they did think to do it, they're like, oh, it's too much work. But if you do the work, that's how you win.
All right.
And so, for example, that baking brand I mentioned, like product seeding into um, people in her niche is what's blowing her up. And all her competitors on Amazon don't understand how she's now beating them on Amazon because they don't think to do this. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm just selling crap on Amazon.
Yeah, so again, yeah, it could depend if somebody's just selling something because they just want to make a quick buck on Amazon. But if anybody's actually selling something that's listening to this right now, that they actually care about the product, they like everything related to that product. Like for them, and we're coming to the end here, but like, what would you recommend something to get started? Like the first thing they should start doing right now to start that in the direction of
The
getting off
easiest,
of Amazon.
cheapest, lowest hanging fruit is to start creating like behind the scenes, useful educational content that people within their audience actually want to watch. And then the second thing is seeding the product out into trusted creators within their niche. You don't have to pay them, you just have to send them a product and they will start posting. Because there's nothing a creator hates more than waking up in the morning and being like, I don't know what to post today. But if it's like, oh, I just got this really cool product from brand ABC, that's probably going to do them a good 5 to 10 videos worth of content. And then you can
There
send
you
them more
go.
products. And hopefully you've got a cohesive brand of products that all make sense together, right? And before you know it, the algorithm's picking up your stuff. People are starting to see your videos all the time and the creators' videos which are featuring your products. And then, you know, they might have seen two, three, four videos. And then it's like, you know what? I'm actually going to go buy that. And then either they go to your website or the creators mentioned, this is by brand blah, blah, blah. It's on Amazon. So they go search it. Guess what? You get the ranking juice. Or perhaps you've given this creator a link, which they've included in their bio. They're getting the affiliate fee, but you can get a brand referral bonus back. So get 10% back. Or you drive them to your website. The world is your oyster. This is just what real brands do. Um, that's what it's all about.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, Ben, very valuable. I guess, yeah. Finally, how can people get in touch with you if they potentially want to get more
Sure.
advice from you?
Yeah, always happy to chat to people. I'm super active on social, so LinkedIn's a great one. Just search me, Ben Leonard. I'm on Instagram, Ben Leonard Pro. Um, those are the two main places. Peregrine, as in the bird, peregrinecommerce.com is our growth marketing agency. Oh, and brandrescuemission.com if you want to check out the turnaround. Um, that's me.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll leave all that down in the show notes. And yeah, Ben, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.